Hi, I'm Brad.
And I'm Maggie.
And we're the Wanderland Travelers.
We just celebrated 2 years of full-time RV living, and we thought it would be fun to do a series of short videos talking about some of the highlights from this last year of travel.
In the last year, we covered over 11,000 miles, going coast to coast. We visited 14 states and boondocked or dry camped for 246 nights.
So we wanted to tell you about some of our favorite free campsites that we found, chosen for their accessibility, incredible views, and proximity to great recreation.
I work full-time as a software engineer, so all of these sites had workable internet with either Verizon or AT&T hotspots. So these are in no particular order, but the first one is Upper Teton View. It's in the BRIDGER-TETON National Forest bordering Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming.
So this was actually a fairly slow-going, steep gravel road to access it, but any rig can do it. We have a 33-foot motorhome. We saw people bringing their Airstreams up there. If you go slow, any rig can do it.
Yeah, there was easily more than 20 campsites up here, really big, wide open space. They had varying views of the mountains. There's one kind of front row area that is clearly the best spot.
Yeah, it's a 14-day stay limit, and so inevitably there's some turnover, and yeah, one of the ideal spots opened up, so we were lucky enough to snag that.
So the internet was not actually that great here. I think it was because we were there at a really popular time.
Mid-August to the end of August.
And it was also the week before the solar eclipse. But, you know, I just had to do no video for meetings, and Maggie had to run into town to do her video uploads. Just south of the entrance to this campsite, there is the Gravant campground, where you can get water and dump for $10.
Coming up next, Lake HOLLOMAN, which is an Air Force Base area, but open to the public. This is about 10 miles away from ALAMOGORDO, New Mexico.
It's beautiful lakeside camping, just a mile off the highway. The reflections off the water are just so gorgeous there.
Yeah, we caught amazing sunsets and star reflections too.
Yeah.
So the turnoff from the highway is a bit tight. I don't think we unhooked.
I don't think we did either.
I just hopped out to help guide him through the gate post because it was very narrow.
Yeah, and you just have to make sure that your back wheel passes the right point before you start turning.
What's so fantastic about this site is you've got the beautiful lake views, but you're also just 3 miles to the entrance of White Sands National Monument,
which is a photographer's paradise.
I loved it there. I felt like every direction that you looked, you had great photo opportunities.
So we used the free dump at the fairgrounds in Alamogordo, and there's also fresh water there. Okay, so the next one is Valley of the Gods in Mexican Hat, Utah. Man, this place was stunning. It's like a little mini Monument Valley, just all these great rock formations. The internet situation's a little tricky here, but we did manage to find a place with good reception. You just have to kind of keep an eye on those bars. We camped about 2.5 miles in.
The road through Valley of the Gods is 17 miles long, and you can basically camp all along there. But yes, some places the internet goes out, it might come back, but once you got to about 7 miles in, it probably is pretty hard for big rigs to get through there because you get some washes that become real kind of big dips and soft sand. So if you can find something within the first 2 to 3 miles, you're probably going to be in good shape. The road was pretty accessible. It was gravel, a little washboardy in some places.
There's a little creek with running water that you have to drive over, and when you first pull onto the road,
water levels can change at any time.
Use your best judgment.
Use your best judgment. Get out, take an actual look before you just power on through.
So in addition to the super scenic 17-mile drive through the Valley of the Gods area, it's also in close proximity to Monument Valley, Mexican Hat Rock, and Gooseneck State Park.
So we didn't need to dump in the time that we were in this area, and I don't know of a dump that's too close by, but we were able to get very inexpensive water at the Shell station in Mexican Hat. I think they charge just 50 cents to fill up our RV tank. So those were our top 3 favorite campsites in year 2 of our travels, but there's a couple more that make an honorable mention.
We just have to mention them because they're so great.
Magnolia Beach in Port Lavaca, Texas. This is beachfront camping. You're right on the sand, just as close to the water as you want to get. But
As close to the water as you dare to get.
you do want to be mindful that the tide can change. But this was just wide open stretches of sand, room for countless rigs. It does get a little popular on the weekend.
And there were mosquitoes while we were there, which were a little annoying.
They were pretty bad, actually.
They weren't that bad during the day. They just came out hard when dusk hit.
But if you're looking to just sort of stick around your campsite, enjoy the views, the sunsets and the sunrises, this is a great place to do it from. So we were there in October, and we did have some pretty hot and humid weather. You're dry camping, no hookups. We didn't have a way to run air conditioning, so just something to keep in mind.
Okay, and our last honorable mention is HICKISON Petroglyph Recreation Area. This is just outside of Austin, Nevada.
Central Nevada, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Along the America's loneliest highway.
Highway 50.
But it's very easy access. It's less than a mile off of the highway. The dirt road was a little rough once you got into the campground and kind of pretty tight turns, but just take it slow and you'll be fine. The sites were pretty unlevel. We saw everybody was getting pretty creative with the leveling, but we managed to get level.
The reason we loved this was it was so peaceful and quiet out there. There were trails right out of the camping area. You could get up and get a great vista.
Of the mountains. What mountains were those?
I think those were the Shoshone Mountains.
Yeah.
We just had beautiful views, great sunsets, and it was just a fantastic stop. So we hope this has been enlightening. Maybe you're adding some of these to your list. We love to boondock and dry camp, so you should check out our channel for other places that we visited. We have a favorite free campsites playlist, actually.
And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so you'll stay up to date on all of our videos.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.